First of all, for I guess the viewers, Eritrea is a state in East Africa. Um, before 62, I think. First of all, Eritrea and Ethiopia were at one point, for most of their history, part of the same empire. They were all under Aksum, and and after that, they were under Abyssinia. Then the Italians came and colonized one part, and they called Italian Eritrea, meaning the Italian Red Sea. The word Eritrea means Red Sea. It's an old Greek term for the sea. And then the other part became British, or did not get colonized, the Abyssinia part. So, and then when they got independence, when the Italians were defeated, they were all fighting on the same side. There were no Africans fighting on the Italian side, as far as I know, unless by force. But the liberation of Abyssinia involved troops from all over Africa, as well as European troops, British and other countries that were against the Axis powers during the Second World War. But when Eritrea was negotiating its independence, they said, okay, we're going to be a separate state, but in a federation with Abyssinia, or Ethiopia, as they came to name it in '63. So the military and the foreign affairs of Eritrea were to be managed by the federation. You understand? Not by Eritrea. Unfortunately, I think it was 52 or 53, where Abyssinia then decided to annex Eritrea, the same way now that Russia is doing to Ukraine. So the unity arrangement they had ended up with an annexation, which then was a problem. Now, in '91, the new government that took over in Ethiopia decided to reverse the situation and say, no, no, you take back, you be a separate state, you know. We're not going to interfere with your business or whatever, but you know, the politics of Africa has been this way. You know, people do things without, you know, a government takes over, they don't know what arrangements you had prior, they didn't read about them, they didn't care, they've disregarded the thing, or they know. But then, you know, the vagaries of the modern system of running government then favor people who are extreme. So there is really no reason why Eritrea and Ethiopia should be enemies, especially given the fact that they're all part of the African Union now. We ought to have one army for the whole of Africa. We need to have one currency. We need to have one currency board. We need to have an education system that is consistent throughout Africa, in addition to other things, right? So really, for me, the way I see it is, you know, yes, we need to have a common policy as Africans. So there should be no reason why there's conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea right now. It should stop. It's a nonsense project. It doesn't benefit either the Ethiopians or the Eritreans. And remember, the Italian government executed a lot of people. They didn't execute, they executed intellectuals from both Eritrea and Ethiopia. So they were on the same boat. And the distinction we make between Eritrea and Ethiopia, for me, is very academic. As far as I know, the most glorious part of the history of either state, Eritrea and Abyssinia and Ethiopia, is the Aksumite Empire. That's their project jointly, you know, and it's based in Eritrea initially. Aksum was the third most powerful empire at the height of its power. It controlled all of Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa for 300 years. You know, so if you're looking back at this, you know, to study that empire, you're going to be in all those places. So you know, as a Pan-Africanist, I don't want to make a distinction between the two, really. It's the same way, say, that I would make a distinction between one province and another. It's not an important distinction. Eritreans, Ethiopians, the rest of Africa, we're all one people. We help each other through a lot of hell, and we still are.
Well, let me hear you say mountain.